Hi everyone, I'm Christian. I'm here with the Tanooki, and this is Jason Michael Paul, executive producer for the Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddesses Second Quest.
Nice.
So good to see you again.
Nice to see you as well.
So now we are here to talk about Second Quest. Could you tell me what is it and how is it different from the first season of Symphony of the Goddesses?
Yeah, well, obviously we wanted to bring something new to the fans in the cities that we're going back to. So, obviously the Four Movement Symphony is still intact for this particular program, but what we've done is we've supplemented that program with some newer material. Obviously with some announcements that have been made and some, I guess, relatively new releases with Skyward Sword. We've decided that we want to focus our efforts on including some of those works.
Now, despite an additional season and an expanded repertoire, is there anything you were hoping to do with Second Quest that just wasn't feasible at this time?
Yeah, I would say there are. We're due just some limitations in terms of timing, and obviously sometimes the approval process is a little bit lengthy. So we would have liked to have had some other pieces that we were working on that could have been included, but just due to the time constraints, we weren't able to include it for this particular performance.
Okay. Any chance those will make it in the future?
Yeah, definitely. Chad Seiter, our music director, and Jeron Moore, our producer, our creative producer, are working steadfast and time. They're working around the clock to make sure that we continue to keep fans motivated to want to keep coming back for not only Second Quest but Third Quest and whatever quest we decide to take this journey on. So
another sequel or something.
Yeah, exactly. So
all right.
We're trying to build a franchise.
Now, you've been a musician all your life. Is there any chance that we'll see you perform on stage at some point? I actually just spoke with Eímear about this, and she loved the idea.
Yeah, I actually am not a performer like that. I just, I just prefer to kind of be the guy behind the scenes, just kind of, more or less the Geppetto, if you will, trying to make things come to life, and trying to, just really trying to give people their moment to shine, and that's really what I'm more excited about is letting Eímear and Chad Seiter and Jeron Moore and those types, really relish in the moment.
Sure. Okay.
So I'm behind the scenes guy. That's
I get you. I'm the same way.
Yeah. So. I just it's not really my style, but it's all good.
All right. Now, last time we sat down, we talked about how Symphony of the Goddesses is helping to spur youth interest in the fine arts.
Sure.
Let's flip that over. Let's talk about how many of us know musicians or know of musicians who don't consider game music or even commercialized music such as film scores to be high art. Yeah. Many would shrug at or even refuse to come to a Zelda concert.
Yes.
What would you say to them or get them to embrace the concert or give it a chance at least?
Well, it just depends on the person. I think really it's just a matter of immersing them in the experience of what it is that we're doing. I think it's pretty evident once you come to a concert like this, you immediately see the value in what it is that we're doing and what it really means to the arts. You can look around and you see all walks of life, not all the socioeconomics. You can see the demographics. They're all fully represented, and that's really the most beautiful thing about this phenomenon is you don't have one particular type. It's not just a game type. It's not just one age group. And also that's kind of the beauty of this franchise is that it spans such a long 27 years now. So you're really touching on a lot of different generations of people. To answer your question, I think just really bring them into the experience. Not saying anything. It's really doesn't need to be said. The music speaks for itself. The quality of the music speaks for itself. The arrangements, the size of the orchestra. Really staying true to the symphonic format, which we tend to do, but we combine that with more of a multimedia presentation. And I think even Zelda fans can be educated. Some things they didn't know. Obviously, people who don't know anything about Zelda can be educated, which is always fun. And I always like the comment after the show when people, I want to start playing Zelda. I want to learn about Zelda. I want to. Is there any music available? Is there any sound effects available? Yeah, so those are the types of things that I think slowly but surely we're really earning the respect and the appreciation of all walks of life.
Okay. Now, along those lines of expanding your audience, when The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword came out, you mentioned, talked about the game itself, and it actually included a CD with musical selections,
Sure.
From your team actually. With Chad Seiter Symphony having expanded since then, And with many more pieces in your repertoire, can we expect a larger album release in the future, or maybe even a concert Blu-ray?
Yeah, there's not to say there hasn't been opportunity to do this, and there's not to say that I haven't had recordings. I think, really the only hurdle we have to overcome is just, getting Nintendo on board with it.
Okay.
The idea is there. There's obviously the content's there. We have captured it, and not Blu-ray. I've done recordings of other projects that I have in Blu-ray, which are available, but that's another story. But with this particular franchise, obviously it's just getting the blessing of Nintendo, which I'm working on.
Okay, that's good enough then.
I'm working on it. The closest we've come is getting an orchestral CD.
Okay.
But of course that was commissioned by Nintendo.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now, you've had the 25th anniversary concerts, Symphony of the Goddesses, and now Second Quest.
Yeah.
Is Symphony of the Goddesses open-ended?
I like to think it is. I think it's definitely one of the true franchises, as is Final Fantasy, which is another project I worked on and created. I think there's a lifespan. It can continue to go as long as the franchise continues to go, and quite frankly, I don't really think there's any end in sight. So that's my own personal feeling about it. I think it's one of those franchises that, as long as Nintendo's in business,
Right.
I think we can bet that there's going to be Zelda games coming out. Whether it's a re-release in HD of Wind Waker, or the Oracles or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of good things coming out of that franchise, and I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, that about does it for me. Are there any words you have for the fans out there who are about to see Second Quest in the coming weeks?
I know you're from Chicago.
Right.
And we are going to be coming back to Chicago in the fall of 2013 to the Chicago Theater. We also have a slew of other dates that are announced and also planned, which will be announced shortly. And I also want to plug my new show that I'm going to be premiering in October, which is a spin-off of another show I created called Play, which I did premiere in Chicago. And it's going to be called Replay Symphony, which I'm really, really excited about. And the URL for that is replay-symphony.com. So be sure to stay posted for that. It's another J&P production that is going to be touring in the beginning of the fall of 2013. So
We'll look forward to it.
Nice.
I'll be there.
Cool.
All right, everyone. That wraps it up for us. I'm Christian. This is Jason Michael Paul, and we'll catch you guys later.
Thank you.